Oda just dropped a secret rocks pirate in the latest SBS and revealed something mind-blowing. This dude wasn't a former rocks pirate. He's also one of the shadows during Thriller Bark. Volume 112's SBS casually revealed the name Gil Bastar. And yeah, that name probably flew under your radar. But the second you connect the dots between him, the Rocks Pirates, and Oda's forgotten one-shot, it starts feeling way bigger than a random cameo. This isn't just a background character. This might be Oda pulling an old ghost into the final saga, and fans are starting to realize just how dangerous that could be. As always, the SBS section is a wild mix of jokes, bizarre fan questions, and occasional lore bombs straight from Oda himself. This time, fans got some fun new insights about Elbaf, its towering architecture, the warrior traditions, and the clear inspiration from Norse mythology finally got acknowledged. But while everyone was geeking out over those Viking vibes, something completely unrelated hit the fandom like a surprise punch. A reveal so random, yet so important, it instantly stole the spotlight from Elbaf's giants. Oda, out of nowhere, confirmed the identity of a mysterious character tied to one of the most dangerous pirate crews in history. And the name he gave us? Nobody expected. So deep in the SBS, a fan asked a question about a character who showed up briefly back in chapter 1096, the guy in the shade standing with the Rocks Pirates during the flashback. And Oda didn't dodge it. He confirmed it directly. That character is named Gil Bastar, and he was a full-fledged member of the Rocks Pirates. That might not sound like a big deal at first, but if you've been paying attention, you know how secretive Oda has always been about the true lineup of Rocks crew. Outside of the big names like Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shiki, we've barely scratched the surface of who else sailed under Rock's D. Sabek. So the fact that Oda finally added another name, and did it now, is enough to raise a few eyebrows. Because it means Gil Bastar wasn't just a background extra. He was there in the thick of one of the most mysterious events in the world, the God Valley incident. But what happened to him after that? That's where things get even more interesting. Oda didn't just confirm Gil Bastar's name and crew, he also revealed what became of him later. And here's the real twist. Gil Bastar died sometime after the fall of the Rocks Pirates, and his corpse ended up in the hands of none other than Gecko Moria. That's right, the same Gil Bastar was turned into one of the general zombies on Thriller Bark. He wasn't just a random corpse, he was specifically chosen by Moria because of the strength and reputation he held in life, meaning this guy was no slouch. He might not have become a Yonko like Kaido or Big Mom, but the fact that he sailed with them and was strong enough to be included in Moria's zombie army puts him in a very elite category. And all of this? Completely canon, straight from Oda's mouth in the SBS. So now we've got another confirmed name from the Rocks era, and a confirmed body, which leaves one massive question hanging in the air. If Gil Bastar died decades ago and already showed up as a zombie back in Thriller Bark, then why would Oda bother confirming his identity now during the final saga? That's the part that has fans buzzing. Oda doesn't just drop names for no reason. He teases, he foreshadows, and then years later he pays it all off. So even though Gil Bastar is dead, the timing of this reveal feels way too precise to be random. It could be a setup for a future flashback, maybe something tied to God Valley, or even more lore about the Rocks crew that's still hiding in the shadows. Some fans think this might lead into a deeper reveal about Moria's time collecting bodies, or how certain pirates knew more about the celestial dragons than they ever let on. Others think it's just Oda rounding out the picture of the Rocks Pirates as the final war looms. But one thing's for sure, Gil Bastar's name is now on the board, and Oda never plays that card unless he's planning something with it. Up until now, the story of the Rocks Pirates has always felt incomplete, more like a myth than a real piece of pirate history. We've heard the names, we know they were dangerous, but we never got the full picture. By confirming Gil Bastar, Oda's showing us that the world of Rocks isn't done revealing its secrets, and if he's willing to peel back the curtain on one minor member, you can bet bigger names or darker truths are on the horizon. This isn't just a trivia drop, it's a signal. The past is catching up to the present, and with the final saga heading straight toward the truth behind Joy Boy, Imu, and the Void Century, it's only a matter of time before the God Valley incident gets revisited in full. And when that day comes, don't be surprised if Gil Bastar ends up being the missing link. So here's the twist. Gil Bastar isn't originally from the main One Piece series, he actually starred in Oda's early one-shot Wanted, where he's introduced as a feared criminal with a massive bounty because he killed in pure self-defense. Every time he survived an attack, he neutralized the threat, and the authorities kept raising his bounty higher and higher until it hit 970 million, a figure that demands attention even outside the Berry system. In that story, he's a four-armed gunslinger who only shoots when threatened, which only makes him more intimidating. But don't worry, That image of him standing down the greatest hitmen has heroic nuance, because he only drew his guns to survive. And that personality is exactly how Oda painted the character in that one shot. Fast forward to modern One Piece canon. Oda sneaks in that same Gil Bastar as a member of the legendary Rocks Pirates. No joke, he ties an old one-shot to the God Valley era, confirming this four-armed hitman joined one of the most mysterious pirate crews ever to terrorize the world. That connection alone sends fan excitement through the roof, because Oda never does stuff like that without a reason. There's always more to it. And trust me, this is just the start. Now, time to put the rumor mill into motion, but keep it labeled as fan theory. It's been said that including a one-shot character in the final saga could be Oda's way of rewarding longtime followers with callbacks or deeper lore. Some fans believe Gil Bastar might show up in flashbacks to God Valley, or maybe he'll be tied to Moria's collection of powerful corpses. There's also buzz about this gunslinger carrying information that few others in Rocks did, which could be crucial as we approach the secrets of the Void Century. Again, these are speculative ideas floating around Reddit and fan circles. Intriguing, yes, but not confirmed. Let's bring it all together. We've got a character with roots in a standalone one-shot, elevated into the core timeline as a Rocks crew member, who then becomes part of Thriller Bark lore. That's 3 layers of significance. Oda isn't simply naming a side character, he's weaving a narrative thread that stretches across different arcs, whether he reappears in flashbacks or just becomes a satisfying Easter egg for hardcore fans. Gil Bastar's inclusion now feels intentional, and if Oda wanted to drop a hint about untold God Valley secrets or Moria's zombification experiments, this was the perfect way to do it. And what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. And another thing is that Oda also revealed a big secret about the Roger Pirates. Alright, One Piece fam, here's a bombshell drop from Volume 112's SBS. Oda confirmed that Skopper Gaban, the man often seen lurking just behind Roger in flashbacks, is not just a random bodyguard, but the navigator of the Roger Pirates. That's massive, because navigators in this world aren't just map readers, they're the brains behind voyages, the lifelines of any crew. And this guy literally plotted the course to Laugh Tale itself. Mind-blowing, right? That's just the beginning. Think about it. Gaban, a figure always portrayed as Roger's left hand, now officially steers the crew's journey. This puts him on par with Nami-level importance. He didn't just guide them through calm sea, he led them through the impossible trek across the Grand Line twice. Fans are flipping over this. They expected Gaban to fill a cook or fighting position role in the crew's hierarchy, not this. So if Gaban shaped the route, he probably held secrets about poneglyphs, ancient sea currents, maybe even the final steps to the One Piece. And what happened next? This is where it takes a turn. Here's another detail now officially spotlighted. Gaban wasn't just a navigator. He was the 3rd strongest member of the Roger Pirates, right behind Roger and Rayleigh. Oda even used a clever metal metaphor, gold, silver, copper, to rank Roger, Rayleigh, and Gaban, hinting at a structured trinity within the crew. So yes, Gaban had both brains and brawn, a legend in navigation and a top-tier fighter. And the fans are waking up to just how central he may have been to the crew's success, but that's still not the full picture. Now the big question, why reveal this now? Oda doesn't drop details like this randomly, especially during the final saga. It's the setup to something, whether it's a deep dive into how Roger's crew conquered the New World, or perhaps even how Straw Hats might follow in their navigator's footsteps. Some fans are theorizing that Gaban may hold ancient navigational knowledge or poneglyph-related secrets ready to reemerge. There's excitement that he might even appear in upcoming flashbacks related to Laugh Tale's location. Again, that's all speculation, but the timing feels too precise to ignore. And if Gaban's navigation is key, then this revelation could literally reshape Luffy's journey. Bottom line, this isn't just trivia. Oda connecting navigation expertise, power ranking, and mystery positioning all in one character during the final saga means Gaban's role could echo throughout every future arc. He might become the one to unlock final secrets, whether it's charting the Straw Hats' path, testing their resolve, or revealing how the Roger Pirates really got to Laugh Tale. Trust me, we haven't heard the last of Skopper Gaban. You know what's funny? At this point, being a One Piece fan feels like being in a constant state of emotional whiplash. One moment you think you've got everything figured out, like, okay, the Roger Pirates are done, we've seen what we needed. And then Oda casually reminds you that no, actually, we still know nothing. Gaban wasn't just a side character, he might be one of the last keys to understanding how the Pirate King made it to the end. And that unlocks a whole new wave of questions. What else is Oda sitting on that we've just missed? At the end of the day, this isn't just about Gaban. It's about how Oda tells stories. He doesn't waste characters. If someone gets a name, a flashback, or even a weirdly specific role. It usually means they're coming back in a big way. And with the final saga in full swing, there's this buzzing feeling in the fandom that everything is about to connect. So yeah, if Gaban suddenly walks out of the shadows later with a map to the real Laugh Tale or some wild Void Century info, don't act surprised. Oda's been building this puzzle for decades, and we're only just starting to see the corners come together. And now that we know Gaban wasn't just along for the ride, you kind of have to wonder, how many more background legends has Oda been hiding in plain sight?